God told me to do.
No, you don't. Move away from the child. Move away. That's it. Slowly.
God told me that I have to kill him.
Okay, guys, let's clean this mess up.
This is supposed to be me? He looks like some guy who ate a bunch of mushrooms.
And this wimpy little toad is supposed to be me? What? Is he cold or something?
Hey, give him a break. He's used to drawing stick figures.
Oh no, not you again. What do you want this time?
What do you think, Nosko? Here you go again, screwing around with Bible stories like you've studied them beyond what you read in that free children's picture Bible at the dentist office. Do you have any idea what actually happened here?
Sure, that psychopath who hears voices cruelly tormented his son by nearly killing him.
You see what I have to deal with.
I'm not sure how you put up with it.
Okay, Nosko, you repeated the word psychopath enough times to bore me to death. How about we bring some contextual sense to this little charade of yours?
Context? What kind of context could justify this kind of psychopathic behavior by someone who hears voices in his head?
There you go with that psychopath crap again. And you can't even keep your story consistent with it.
What do you mean?
In your vid, you say Abraham was listening to voices in his head, as though to imply that he had some kind of mental illness. And you make him act like someone who's mentally ill. But at the same time, your narrative implies that God really did talk to Abraham, which means your story has it so that the voice in his head had an objective basis. So make up your mind, Nosko. Did God talk to him for real or didn't he?
Oh, come on, I'm an atheist. Of course I think God didn't talk to him for real.
Then how about you present the narrative in a way consistent with that, huh?
I don't get it. Look, what's the point anyway? If God really did talk to him, all it would prove is that God is a psychopath who orders people to kill children.
And killing someone is wrong, is it?
Of course it is.
Why?
Duh, because it ends people's lives.
So your background assumption here is that the effects of killing are what make it wrong, correct?
Yeah?
And killing people is wrong because people who are killed stay dead, is that right?
What are you driving at?
Well, let's say we lived in a world where when someone was killed, they just went unconscious for a second and then came back to life in full health.
You mean, like unlimited lives in a video game?
Somehow I'm not surprised that's the analogy that occurred to you. Unlimited lives. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Now tell me, in a world like that, would the moral objection to the ending of life by killing be valid? Yes or no?
Wait a minute now, you would still hurt someone by...
We'll get to that later. Right now, let's just assume that you'd be killing people just like in a video game world, and be causing them no pain otherwise. In such a world, would the ending of life by killing be morally wrong? Yes or no?
I guess not.
Good. Now let's move to a second issue. I'll let Abe handle this one. Abe?
I sure didn't think I'd start this day rapping with a stick figure. How should I put this? It took some hard thinking, see? But eventually it occurred to me that there was a paradox in God's command.
A paradox?
Yes. You see, on one hand, God told me to offer my son as a sacrifice. But on the other hand, he also said that Isaac would have many descendants. So I drew an obvious conclusion. Either God was going to stop me, or, after it was all over, God would bring him back to life.
Yep.
What?
You want to try reading our story a little more closely? Several times God has reiterated that Isaac would be my heir, and that through him I'd have many descendants. And check this out. Here I clearly say that my son and I are coming back. Now what does that tell you?
Alright, fine. So maybe God was going to give your kid there a one-up mushroom after all that was over. Big deal. You still terrorized him.
Isaac, you want to take that one?
Sure, Mr. Holding. Check this out, stick figure dude. I'm pretty fit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I guess so.
Darn straight I am. Carried all that wood for the altar up this hill myself. Now you tell me, just my dad and me here. You think I couldn't have outrun him? Or held him off if I wasn't willing to be a part of all this?
Getting the picture, Nasco? There's no question but that Isaac was of sufficient strength to resist an older guy like Abraham in both the binding and the reclining on the wood. So clearly he had a good idea of what was going to happen and was a willing participant.
Yeah, but weren't you really scared like that? I mean, I would be if I were maybe about to be killed.
Yeah, listen, stick dude. Maybe that's how you are, 'cause the comfy life you lead up there in the 21st century. Around here, we face death, pain, starvation, struggle, every day of the week. I ain't saying I wasn't nervous or nothing, but I sure wouldn't be shaking like a wimp like that whacked out version of me you got there. Dude needs to change his Fruit of the Looms too, man.
Well, even if Abraham isn't a psychopath, God sure is for coming up with this whole idea and making him almost kill his son.
Oh, really? Let me clue you in on something, Stick Boy. In the opening to this story where God speaks, there's a little particle in Hebrew. And do you know what that particle means in English? It means please, or even I beg you. Get that straight, Nasco. God is asking Abraham, even begging him, if you will, to perform this action, not ordering him. Abraham that had the clear right to refuse if he wanted to, with no stated punishment or consequences for doing so. You think that's a sign of a psychopath? Ha! You've got worse psychological problems just tying your shoelaces.
Alright, maybe you've muddled up the issue some, but you'll never be able to explain why an omniscient God had to test Abraham. Why wouldn't he know the answer already?
Nasco, actually, what you're seeing there is a judicial review, not a fact-finding mission. The word used when it says God knows Abraham is faithful reflects observation of knowledge as well as acquisition of it. And since God and Abraham were in a covenant relationship, this is a direct indication that God is bearing witness to Abraham's fidelity, not finding out about it for the first time. Well, I guess we're done here. Come on, guys. I hear there's a new soup and salad joint just down the road.
You don't say. I never noticed.
Yeah, you might not have. There's always a lot of camels parked outside.
Whew. Glad that's over with.
Oh yeah, forgot one thing. Don't worry about it. Stick figures have unlimited lives.
It's WYTW Raw. Tonight's featured tag team match. Violently Graceful and Prof MTH, the Whiny Complainers. Versus Dr. Annabelle Marcher and the Christian Road Warrior.
Contestants to the center ring, please. Okay, this match is about the Book of Job. You're new here, Violent Guy, so Prof can show you how to handle yourself. Yeah, that's about right. Alright, on your mark, get set, go!
just love crushing, demolishing, and destroying atheist nonsense. Right, Dr. Martzer?
Yeah, not bad. Too bad there's no extra points in wrestling.